What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be checking out Grixis Vampires. This is a deck I kind of seen pop up here and there recently in the meta. It's definitely not a bad deck, as I do think it was a deck that was pretty playable previous in the previous standard. I just felt like, it was more of a traditional deck in the way that, a lot of the cards lined up. It is a deck that probably gets better when you are able to sideboard, but it's definitely a deck that I've seen, make the rounds here in the current meta as I've been continuing to rank up here in the standard ranked meta. So it's definitely a deck I want to check out. I personally haven't played it yet. So it is one of those things that I do see some cards that I kind of understand what they do for the most part. But, it is a typical deck that is playing in the top end, like things like Shieldred and Invoke Despair as kind of like the ways to finish off our opponent, as well as it's playing other ways to kind of, grind out the games a little bit, as we have things like, Bankbuster as a card to kind of like draw cards, continually filling our hand up with a lot of answers. It has a lot of ways to deal with a lot of things on the battlefield, like Voltage Surge, Cut Down. We have Infernal Grasp, as well as Make Disappear. A couple, Meat Hook Massacres make the rounds, and then we just have some cards that kind of target things in the graveyard, as we have Trespasser. We also have Corpse Appraiser. Both good cards in what they're trying to do, as they're trying to eat things in graveyards, give us some sort of card advantage in the process of that, throw things into our graveyard. But for the most part, it is just a solid, like, nice mid-range Grixis color deck. I would say it's kind of like that mid-range. Has a little bit of control with the the 4 make disappears, but it also has a lot of removal, which is definitely good in against aggressive matchups. Trespasser, if we can get that out and start eating things from graveyards, is definitely good there. Its ward ability, making you discard a card in order to kind of like counter the ability and or trigger that's targeting it, is also very good, especially if our hands are thin and your opponent's not going to want to burn a card that they may need to kind of keep the pressure up on the battlefield. Having the top end being Shieldred and Invoke Despair is definitely good. Shieldred's still very dominant in the meta, as not many people are adjusting to the fact that it has 5 toughness. I've seen some people play things like a Valorous Stance is definitely a good card. Stuff like that. People have started splashing some of those cards in the deck to kind of get rid of things with high toughness. But still, if our opponent doesn't really have a good answer for it, or they have to invest a lot of spells into it, it's definitely good for us, because that means it's not a 1-for-1. It's like a 2 or 3-for-1, which is, I still think, very good. And having a couple copies here in the deck definitely makes it good. But overall, this is definitely an interesting deck. It's definitely, like I said, more of the mid-range. We're not trying to win very early. We're just trying to set ourselves up, grind out games, and then kind of finish off our opponent when we get their life total very, very low. But with that being said, let's just dive into some games and kind of see how it does. All right, we're on the play. I think hand's good. Overall, very, very strong hand. I think it's got a lot to deal with, a lot of things our opponent could be doing. I mean, Bankbuster is like a good one to have here in this position. Let's kind of, get that on the battlefield. It could be kind of awkward for our opponent to deal with. All right, they have their own. We'll play Fable. Definitely going to be, I think, going to be a grindy game here, because it looks like there may be Azorius control. So definitely going to have to really grind this one out. All right. Do we want to discard? I'll get rid of the cut down. I actually don't think I need the cut down here, because I feel like they're gonna block. So let's attack first. I'm actually really happy with that. Just because I feel like we're in an okay position. I mean, it's possible our opponent has like removal of some sort. Sure. I mean, they're not in a position to attack here. We gain 2. Yeah, I mean, I'll attack. All right. I could have probably done something about that, but 1 mana. Do they have Spell Pierce? Well, I guess I could see what happens. I mean, if they have Spell Pierce, that's good on them. But, you know, now they have to get rid of one of their one announcements, which is good for us. And they get rid of the one that's actually a little higher. Interesting. Sure. We're just gonna grind. We're just gonna wet announcement into wet announcement. That's also fine because now they take 2. Hmm. We'll get rid of the dog. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're all 1/1s. We'll swing for 4 again. I mean, these are going to start adding up, I guess. And we'll end turn. They're at 7. Adeline's fine. Another Bank Buster is also fine. We'll draw first. Gain some life. Invoke's really good. It gets rid of one of their one announcements, I guess, so we'll slam that down. Sure. We gain a life. Sulphurous Springs. On this. Yeah, I think I see the writing on the wall as well. All right, on the play, hand is a little slow, but I don't think it's a bad one. So it's got a counter spell, it's got removal. I think I'm okay with that. The fact that we also have, you know, 3 black in the opening is great. Looks like we're against control of some sort, so I'll play my Xander's Lounge. And now we have all the mana we need for invokes. They're also Grixis, as we've just learned. Sure, they're Grixis control. I'll let them get the card. I'm not really worried about it, right? I guess they're looking at our land being like, what color is the Xander's Lounge? I guess that's one of those things, right? When you name a triome and it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's not very obvious because I guess people don't recognize like the name. Like it's not called whatever land color based on the name. Whew. Are they gonna blitz it? Sure. No card advantage for you. I mean, it's not great that we just drew all land, which is not the best. Okay. Are you gonna let me appraise her? You are. We'll eat your tenacious underdog. We'll get a cut down. We'll swing in for 3. So I feel like in this matchup, right, we're in the mirror, and our opponent's been on the back end. Like, they've been having to try to figure out how to deal with, like, our board state, is, I think, the big problem. Because we've been doing a little bit more to kind of establish a board state. Yeah, that's fine. They're going to gain 2. We're going to deal 4 and draw some. I think I'm actually going to pop my blood token and discard my... we'll get rid of the Xander's launch because I can then... It's in theory cycling it for 1. All right. We get a Rafine's Tower. I guess that's a thing. We'll invoke again. I think our hand's still good. I mean, we're offline this turn unless they pay for a spell that's almost all their mana. They have 7 mana. Sure. All right. I guess we're just playing the game of I'll get rid of something, you get rid of something. So I think that was a good exchange for us. Because now they're kind of like forced to do something here. All right, so they had a counter spell, but they drew theirs later when I guess it wasn't as effective. They may sacrifice a blood, it looks like. Sure, getting rid of the land. Land's not good in this position. Shieldred's fine. We'll do a quick draw beforehand. Let's get rid of that. No, I'm actually going to discard. So then our shielders just cancel out. Sure. I mean, if they want to counter, they can counter. Let's see. If we attack all, they block. They probably block. They take 3, 4. Yeah, I don't think that's a good position to block or to attack in. Sure. They're going to gain some life, I guess, in the process. Maybe try to find an answer. Gaining a lot of life, I guess. Well, make you pay for what you don't have. And I keep my reflection around. Alright, what do you got for me? Are you going to play a Corpse Appraiser and find an answer? Sure. Alright, is it an answer? Kept lands and counters. It's a removal spell, which they needed, right? Like, that was, like, the spell they needed. Alright, we just got Corpse Appraisers for days. Only one mana open. So I drew heavy on the counters, they drew heavy on the removal. Sure. Go down to 3. Rip. Oh, man. Maybe I should kept that Bank Buster. Maybe the Bank Buster was the call. Alright, hand's good. Do we take a turn off, though, and play Xander Lounge? I think so. Unless our opponent's playing, like, mono red, I think it's okay that we just kind of sit back and kind of set up our board. I mean, if we're playing mono white, they don't have much in the way of doing much to our board state. Right? Like, they can't attack him with a 1-2 here. Like, that makes no sense. I think we just play this and we say go. I'm just going to sit back because, yet again, no need to put pressure on them. I mean, if they... So, here's the funny thing, right? If they Brutal Cathar, sure. Our opponents play Let's Get Wide, mono white. Well, we'll get rid of the Hopeful Initiate. They don't need that. I'm actually going to crack the Blood. I'll get rid of one of these Springs, draw a card. Yeah. It's good. We'll step back yet again. No need to... No pressure yet from our opponent. Another dog. So are they like mono white go wide kind of like style deck? Like I'm unsure of what's happening here. I really don't need a ton of land. Well, hold on. Let's get rid of that. I'm just gonna draw a card. You have a full grip. All right, so they're literally just mono white. Let's get a decently wide board, and then we'll trigger Welcome Vampire to get some card advantage. So what we know is we have to get rid of Welcome and Vampire, pretty much. Yeah, I mean that's really good, right? I mean that turns off their 1/1s. So, I mean that's like an easy invoke, I think. It only gets it gets 3 things because they have to sacrifice a spirit. Or it gets 2 things, I forgot. That's fine. No attacks, here you go. Like, what is... Sure. I'll take 3 in the air. Yeah, I guess I target this one. And we kill this. No attacks yet. I'm gonna throw it out there. There is a Wonder and Emperor, which I assumed was the play, but they could have flashed it in and then made me and nullified me pumping their creature.
What you get for hurting my people.
Sure. Get in land. All the white mana. I mean, even if I got like a meat hook for 2, that'd be really good here. We'll draw. All right, you asking, you shall receive.
Strike fast and strike hard.
So if I meat hook for 2, that turns off their board essentially. Corpse Appraiser could get just an answer. I feel like Corpse Appraiser is not bad. I'm not underneath a ton of pressure yet. We'll get rid of this. I mean, either of those were like really good in that position. No attacks. So you go. What are we pumping? Block, 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 block. All right. What else? Are we wiping the board? Sure.
Keep watch for intruders. Until next time, then.
All right, so you're going wide on me,
Protect the people.
as that's the play. We'll get rid of the Adeline, or at least make you play another one. Mm-hmm. Companion, nice. Drawing a card. We'll submit 0. I actually want the land. You know, let's just do 4 since I can't do anything with the extra mana. So, just in case it, I don't know. Somehow they have a way to pump stuff. Seven mana. Announcement. Creature. I'll take the Adeline out of the graveyard, just in case. I will take that. That's strong. Yeah, we'll play land and say go. Nice.
Anyone who harms my people
So we're just kind of
deserves
push damage through.
talking.
At this point, I think our opponent's trying to do.
We've got the edge in this.
All right. I'll take it. Sacrifice some stuff. Doggo. Might as well not give him life. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. Mono black. Submit 0. And thank you, sir, for your lovely Tenacious Underdog. All right, I guess they're not about me taking their graveyard. Opponent goes first. Hand's okay. No blue mana, but I feel like it's an okay hand, right? Like, we can draw blue mana. Sure. Not sure why Mono Black plays like Shakedown Heavy. It feels like a weird card. Like, that just doesn't fit very well. We'll play Takenuma. I guess I'll get a Harvester out. Sure. Are you gonna eat? Sure. Do you have a way to get back your Shakedown Heavy, I guess? Get rid of the land. I feel like that's the play. 4 lands, Shieldred. We'll counter that one. Okay. So you have a 1/1, eh? Autopay. Take 1 point of damage. Why not? We'll eat a Trespasser. Get a Xander's Lounge. As much as it's not the best top deck. You know, when you look at the top 3, it's all lands. Sure. Yet again, you're not eating your graveyard. I feel like that would be the better play. I'm gonna attack him for 6. Okay, our opponent is cool with that. Sure. Got removal. Good game. You can't... Yeah, I was going to say you can't do all of it. Yeah? I guess? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad hand, I guess, against mono black. We'll summon 0. Appraise it. We'll eat it. I think Bank Buster's the play. We already have enough lands. Oh, it's Orzhov. Okay, I was not expecting Orzhov. I guess they were waiting to play their white mana. Well, Xander's Lounge, I think, into a Mirror Breaker. All right. So what are we doing, opponent? Gaining some life for sure. I don't need another land. I'll get rid of the Sakuzan. All right, got another land. They want to kill it. They can commit 2 things to it. Yeah, I'll swing with L. Keeps mana open in case they play some sort of counter spell. Or some sort of big spell that, you know, involves all their mana. Autopay. Fateful. Sweet. Lose 2. Another white mana source. All right, so they don't have removal, at least during their upkeep. Sure. All right. We'll draw. I mean, that's all I had, so if that's all they were expecting. I mean, Invoke's good. I mean, it gets rid of 2 creatures. Or it gets rid of a creature in an enchantment. And do they turn off their shields here? Sure. We'll get rid of that one. If I swing all, well, I don't want to swing all. Sure. Got a wide board. I'm at 24. You're at 5. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clutch when I had the counter spell to counter their only removal spell. And it was just going to slowly drain them away. I mean, they could have put pressure on, right? Like, if they swing all, I can only block 2 things if I really wanted to, but I would take 5, 6, 8, 10. Still not enough, I guess. I don't know. On the play, hands okay. A little slow, right? Because we have 3 tap lands in our hand, especially in the early game. I mean, you get the Xander's Lounge out of the way, and then you kind of slowly build up our board, and then turn 3 we can turn it on, depending on what they're playing. Get the Xander's Lounge out. It's always gooder. Mono black. Please, Tenacious Underdog. Like, it's always like the most common like play, right? Yeah, counter spell's not bad. Now the question is, what do they take in this position if they flip? Maybe Trespasser? Maybe Fable, because Fable kind of fills us up. I mean, it's all good, I would say. I think Fable's probably the strongest here just because it's going to recharge our hand. Okie dokie. Well, we'll swing for 3. I think Harvester is actually really good here. Sure. I'll take 3. Yet again, I feel like they purposely played it because I mean it was in my hand. We'll eat that. I need a land. I'll be quite honest. I really need the land. Land is clutch. I'll swing 6. What do you got for me? Is it removal? Sure.
Nobody knows Dominaria shadows like me. One of your friends has to leave.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting, I would say. Quite the conundrum. They're at 11. Bankbuster's not bad here. Fable's pretty good. I feel like I want to play Shieldred, though. I mean, I could just let them make me discard the Reckoner Bankbuster. You know, I'll say go. Take 2. Are we plussing? I mean, they're going to look at my hand either way, right? Concealing Curtains is going to, you know, you could pay 3, flip it.
Drop it.
Interesting. So you get rid of your own Shieldred. Are you going to make me sacrifice a creature?
Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
Seems like an odd play.
Sacrifices must be made.
Gain some life. Pay Bankbuster. No attacks. We'll say go. Take 2. I'll draw first. Sure. You want a plus? I have some good stuff in my hand. I have a land and I have a harvester. I mean, they only have 2 cards, though, so it's like, do they want to discard any of their cards? Do I want to use a blood is the question, though? I think I use the blood. Put a stop here, just depending on what we draw. Alright, I don't need to have a stop now. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I have a Shivian Reef I can get rid of, or Fiend's Tower. It's a land, dude. I can draw 2 cards this turn. That's a plus. Sure. What do you got for me? What do you got for me, opponent? How about no? Make me to sacrifice a creature? I guess that's a thing.
You failed to entertain me. It's no fun when they hit back. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Weird attack. Both are greater toughness. You're out of mana. Sure. I'm discarding both. I'll draw one more. Yeah, removal. Opponent. Cut down. Something. Yeah, it's a mirror match right now. You're the one lower on life total, so it's just a matter of time. I mean, I could just, end it all and just make everyone restart, but I don't want to do that because I don't have anything to follow it up with. Like, you don't have a good attack at all. Plus, it's been how many cards, and you still only have 4 lands. Like, you've only discarded a land. I feel like that's a bit rough. And I guess this is now, like, I am gonna just sit here and complain about... Oh, okay. We're gonna play it out. They're like, I can do it. No blocks. All right, are they calling it quits? No? Okay, we're gonna play it out. Curtains. Curtains. Like, I can go all day here. Like, I'm not really worried about their board. Like, next turn I could still... I could do a Bloodtithe Harvester, which is not super effective. I could Corpse Appraiser again, by tapping Reflection. Also crazy, right? Still, like, thinking about it. They've been in this game with only 4 mana. So it's like, they're not out of this. It's just been weird that they've only drawn 1 additional source of mana from what it seems like. Or they're just holding mana in their hand. I don't really know what the difference is here. All right, there we go. Maybe they're holding Invoke Despairs, and they're like waiting for me to tap down. I don't know. Also, they can't really play it on their turn. Well, they can, I guess, because they would only lose 4 and gain 4 immediately back. I mean, at this point in the game, I feel like my opponent's a little bit salty. Sure. We'll sacrifice the 1 treasure. And we'll just copy here and just get wide. Just for safety. I mean, it's lethal regardless. All right, opponent goes first. Hands a lot of removal. Could use some land. Never feels good when you're not drawing land. Not bad, not bad. So I would say I'm a little sad that I don't have a Corpse Appraiser to kind of follow this up with, because I always feel like that's the best kind of thing to do here. All right, our opponent is full out control. I would say the one downside to our deck is that we're not very good at removing stuff, like artifact-wise, when you think about it. I don't really want them to get card advantage, so there is that. Sure. Are they going to spend mana? They are. They still have something they can do, though. They got 2 mana. They're going to draw a card. Makes sense. All right. I mean, that feels bad. A little clunky. Missing a land. Though we have 3 Invoke Despair, so it's like... All right. Well... Yeah, I mean, might as well tax them out of drawing an additional card. If they want to pay the 2. They don't get to draw, like, the 4th card. Are they going to pay 3 to tap? Sure. I'll get drained. I'll let them gain 1. Could have actually tapped their Bank Buster in response. Yeah, this isn't gonna help, really. I mean, they're probably gonna have an answer for it, because, I mean, I haven't done anything really to present stuff, though they didn't put a stop on the upkeep, which is weird. I mean, they should have all the answers. I mean, they've drawn a bunch of cards. All right. It's always the 2/3 vampire.
You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm not going to win a game when I'm only at 4 lands. It's not a winnable game. We go first. No blue mana. We have removal. I think we keep. I guess we present it. I guess we'll present it where that we're mono black. Sure. So some sort of deck that they're playing, they want to be ahead on board. Gain 3 life is perfectly fine. All right, so they're a domain deck, right? So I guess we kind of sit back on this. Because what they're going to want to do is kind of get the board all cluttered with a bunch of things. I mean, they can do that at the end of the day, but we're not trying to put too much stuff out. All right. We'll target there. We'll sack here. Still a little weird that the deck is a little bit light on land. Like, this has like been 2 matches in a row where it's been kind of on the lighter side where we haven't drawn a ton of land. All right, they're discarding Herd Migration, which is fine for me. Wind's Grace. I actually like all this. We'll get rid of your Workshop War Chief. I guess untap land. No attacks. We'll say go. No. All right, what do we got? Sure. Are we gonna tap a bunch of lands for stuff? Yes, we are. Interesting. Not keeping it for any sort of way to get rid of stuff on the battlefield. Sure. We're cycling? All right, that means... How are they cycling at this point? Get a land back? Yet again, bit weird, right? They're not doing anything. I know it's my go. All right, that was a good game. All right, and we are back. So overall, Grixis Vampires felt pretty good in the meta. I do think there was a couple of games I did lose just because the mana, I just, for some reason, got stuck at 4, which is never a good thing, especially when you try to multi-spell on your turns. I actually really like Corpse Appraiser in this meta. It's a great card that kind of eats things out of the graveyard, definitely gets rid of those tenacious underdogs, which is a plus. I also like surprising my opponent by having a counter spell available, maybe when they tap out to play a big spell, as Make Disappear did come in pretty handy against the mono black matchup where I felt like my opponent was trying to tap out to play like their Liliana, to play their own Shieldred, to play an Invoke Despair. You know, it's a good deck, right? It has a lot of good pieces. I mean, the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, I think is kind of like that card that everyone forgets is probably one of the best cards in the meta overall, just because of its versatility, because it's a saga. You get 3 things on it. Which is definitely very good. And you combine that with a Invoke Despair, you combine that with a Shieldred, makes it that much better. I think, you know, this is a good deck. I mean, it's a deck to check out. It is, yet again, you know, a lot of the meta decks currently at the moment are a little bit on the expensive side, but it's still not too bad when it comes to overall budget, right? As there is a fair balance of mythics and there's rares, but there's also commons and uncommons that make this list, which actually makes it pretty kind of like pretty much in a way if you have some of the cards, maybe not too bad in the way of crafting. I would say the most expensive part about the deck is probably going to be the mana base, just because we have to play triomes and we have to play dual lands to make sure we hit our 3 colors. I think is kind of the only thing that kind of draws it back maybe from being super approachable as someone maybe on the budget side, but still, nonetheless, this is a great deck. I think it's really good, like just overall. But if you like the video, hit that like button. Definitely helps out a lot. If you want to check out the deck, I'll have it linked down in the description below, like always. And if you're new here, you want to know I post new videos like this one here on the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Just want to give a special shout out to the channel members here on my YouTube channel. You can also become a channel member yourself down below the video, hitting that join button. It definitely helps out a lot, and I just appreciate you guys for your support.